All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. So, good morning, guys. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing great. Hope everybody else and yourself
Doing
are
good.
as well.
Good as well here. So, let's see what we got today, guys. We got a pretty nice gappers list this morning. A lot in the green. Some stuff here well in the double digits. So, cannot wait to see what's going on there. We already see our buddy Kodak having an amazing run this morning after an amazing run pre-market yesterday. So we'll get into that in play today for sure. Already has great volume this morning. So, but first, let's take a look at what we had yesterday on our gappers list, guys. Let's go over some of the top plays and highlights. Let's start with INTC was on our list. The daily on this one looked great. It was holding on to that support, but it didn't really do all that much at the open. It was very wild, beautiful range here, top and bottom. If you play this type of strategy where you are trying to, catch the range here, it definitely gave you some opportunities to do that. But aside, if you don't have that strategy, very difficult to trade. It did settle down nicely later on in the early afternoon. Look how beautiful it loses VWAP here and becomes an amazing trend trade here following these moving averages. Cannot get back above VWAP, and then it starts loosening here. I know the SPY around this time also started dumping towards the end of the day, guys. We'll take a look at it here. Again, we a pretty good open so for the most part at the morning. From there, got pretty choppy, and then just around towards the end of the day, just had this massive drop here. So we'll get into that in the market pulse. Norm will give us an update on what's going on with the market there. Here's Roku, guys. Again, this is the sleeper pre-market action, not doing anything exciting. Yesterday, you get a beautiful engulfing here on the 5 minute, an opportunity for a short play here once it comes to VWAP. But you can see how well this reacted. Then here, out of nowhere, you had someone drop. I think it's 50,000 shares. I know that because I was watching it, and the volume just literally popped up here. And you had this huge drop all the way down to about 149, a couple of bucks. Then it did bounce back up, was able to recover. But man, that was something to see there for sure. And then towards the end of the day, again with the SPY dropping, you also had a bit of a drop here towards the end as well. Here's TSM, another one that we don't usually trade, but yesterday was an amazing short, guys. Again, continues to lose this level here that we had in the pre-market, and you can see how beautiful this thing drops. So if he was patient on this one, also traded very well. Their daily looks interesting as well today. Here's AMD choppy open. We had this one on watch. I think this was going to be one that's going to be very active over the next coming days. So we're going to keep watching this one. We have some pretty crazy action after hours. So we'll look at, actually, we can look at it now right on here, guys. Look at after hours, what happened here. This is the earnings play. We'll talk about that because this definitely will be in play this
Yeah, we
morning.
will.
Yeah, it already has incredible volume, 1.8. PFE was on deck as well. A rough open, but as then settled in an hour or so later, you can see how beautiful this thing traded also. And then the last one we had on our list was VXRT. Look at this engulfing here towards the top here. Opens up, drops down drastically. Buying pressure starts coming in. Good indication when you see this engulfing pattern here. Not a perfect one, right? But when you see this type of engulfing, usually indicates the stock is ready to go the other direction. And it does just that, guys. Beautiful pop here, host of moving averages and takes off. So again, VXRT also very active as well. All right, let's voice a little choppy. Let me see. I'll put my mic a little bit closer, maybe. All right,
Sounds good to me,
hopefully,
buddy. Sound clear as can
yeah.
be.
Okay, guys, if you are having some audio, try to refresh.
Refresh the room, or you might have some kind of a bandwidth issue.
All right, I'll put the mic a little bit closer just in case. All right, guys. So let's all right, let's take a look at all right, let's go over to our gappers list this morning. Again, we got a lot on here, guys. Only one in the red, DSS. So we'll take a look at that one. But for now, let's go over to the market pulse and see what we got going on there.
Yeah, see if you can fix it. Maybe it is on your end. It's more people, so more people are saying it. So maybe it is you. All right. Good morning, guys. Busy day today. SPY's up a little over 1/3% right now. When I woke up, things were just flat. Essentially, it looked like a pretty. Yeah, they're saying I am too in the room.
Hmm.
Um, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Things were relatively flat. We've spiked up a little bit since 8 a.m. But a big day of news. It should be interesting. The FOMC has been meeting yesterday and today. They'll announce their rate decision at 2 o'clock Eastern. Nobody's anticipating any kind of change there. It's really the statement and what they say they feel is going on in the economy that's going to be of interest. And then, of course, the Q&A. The other part of what's going on today is all day the CEOs of Google, Amazon, Apple, and Facebook are all going to be testifying in front of Congress, talking about antitrust issues, and we know that they'll veer away from that and go into some other conversations. So, those make a substantial portion of make up a substantial portion of the market cap of the U.S. stock market, but it's like 40 some odd percent of the NASDAQ 100, the QQQ. So what they have to say will definitely move things. And between those two events today, I will be very careful how I trade. So that's kind of what's going on this morning.
All right, perfect, guys. So I know sound is good on YouTube because you guys are confirming, so thank you for that. I'm going to just quickly reset the audio in the chat room here. So give me a second, guys. Bear with us just to make sure it's not a chat room situation here. All right, guys. So I just reset it. Hopefully that is better for the chat room. Let's get going here. So let's look at what we have on our gappers list this morning. Again, quite a bit on here in the green. We got some good ones that we've been seeing here that continue to pop up. So funny. Norm and I, as you guys know, we're catching up in the morning, kind of getting ready for things, and we have Neo, we have INO, and then there was another one that was very similar, Norm, that you said.
Yeah, it was either yesterday or the day before, and on the scanners I saw one starting to pop up, and I can't remember what the ticker was because I wasn't really trading. I had the audio alert on in case there was anything that I saw, and I look over, and it was like ONI or OIN. I can't remember, but I was like, oh, please don't do that to us. Do not put another one of these 3-letter with the same thing so that we get them confused. But it's not on there.
Yep. So we'll see if that pops up there. All right, guys. So here's Kodak, obviously very active yesterday. Let's take a look at how this thing played out.
This thing is just a beast.
It really is. Right now, guys, pre-market action yesterday was amazing. Didn't do much at the open. You had a couple of good pops here. After that, it really slowed down. But again, it was just so extended. Pre-market already was up at 100 plus, maybe 200%. I don't remember the exact number, but something ridiculous. After hours yesterday gets going again, breaks through the high of the day. This is all post-hour trading. This morning, continuing that pop here, we're up 90%. Again, another huge pop here on Kodak. So again, 18 million shares traded. This thing is definitely on watch this morning. It is an 18 million shares float. So it is a little bit on the lower side.
Finviz has it substantially smaller than that, by the way.
It does?
Finviz, it's like 8 million, I believe. So, 8.18 on Finviz, just a heads up. So it's somewhere in between those two. It's a lower float stock for sure.
Yeah. So again, guys, it's a lower flow stock, but for some reason, this one tends to trade a little bit cleaner than most 18 million shares flow stock with this type of volume. So again, it's with this type of flow. So it does trade a little bit cleaner. You still have to be mindful of your number of shares and watch it closely. So Kodak here on deck, guys. We'll keep an eye on this one. Definitely the low flow of the day this morning. Let's take a look at GFIV. At the moment, they're not doing all that well. 400,000 shares traded, but look at how this thing has been trading. Obviously, might have been earnings last night. But again, 20 million shares float, not doing a whole lot here in the pre-market right now. If it gets better, point it out to us, guys. Throw it back at us, and we'll take a look at it.
They did have earnings last night, and they announced some sales momentum amongst other things. So they're popping up. They do have a 22-ish% short float. So compared to their relative volume, it's pretty high. It's a almost 3-day short ratio. So it could be squeezing here a little bit, but keep an eye on it. Right at 20 million on Finviz.
Excellent. TUP here, guys. Horrible pre-market action, and again, right now we're not getting anything going on here besides a couple of big trades here, creating 317,000 shares at the moment. It is up 22%. The daily looks okay. You have a nice big pop here, but for the most part, the pre-market's just not looking great. So typical stock does not trade a lot of volume. If you look down here, for the most part, their daily volume is very light. A couple of days here with some good 18 million shares traded, but for the most part, very light here this morning. So not liking what I'm seeing here, Norm, unless you have any news that might be worth watching this one.
They had earnings, but in general, this doesn't trade very well. It's Tupperware. I
Mm,
mean, and as boring as that sounds, it's kind of how it trades. So,
yeah.
maybe a secondary list or something, but I won't keep this front and center for myself.
Okay, that makes sense. Good secondary list in case something pops up here. Let's look at LB, guys. This is L Brands. We have traded this one before in the past. Right now, they got a nice pop of 20%. Their daily have been consolidating around this $19 mark here, pretty good for the last couple of days. Norma, I'm assuming earnings with this type of move, after hours movement here, we're seeing that pop coming in.
No, but they gave an update on what's going on. So this is a retail company that owns several apparel brands and such, and they've just been hit recently. They've been just bleeding off the last few years. They have a restructuring plan they've been working on. They gave an update on that, and they were talking about cost cutting. So maybe if they cut enough costs and they can get a little sales momentum and they're starting to turn things around, maybe they can become a decent company once again.
Yeah, I do like this pop here. Again, they're not the best trading stock, so I'm going to put it down as a possible for now and see if things get better there. FEYE, at the moment, they are up there 13%, 157,000 shares traded right now. You have some action here after hours creating that movement. This is a stock that we have looked at before in the past. Does not trade very well, very light on volume most days. Again, possible continuation or drop here above this 13%. I'm going to add it as a possible, but again, this is one that I'm not really a fan of. Our buddy AMD here, guys. This one is Norm, fill us in on what's going on with their earnings. Obviously, this guy's been killing it the last couple of days, and earnings is just stepping in here, making it even better.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those stories where they've had this massive run up, been at all time highs. They broke a high that they set back, I don't know, 20 years ago, something around
Hmm.
that, not too long ago. They've been doing very well, and they popped hard the other day on after hours when Intel came out and said they were having problems manufacturing 7 nanometer chips. AMD is already in the space and being successful with it. So they were kind of priced for perfection here, and they've sold off after hitting that high a couple of days ago. And then I kind of thought this is what was going to happen after that massive volume day that they had, that highest volume they've had probably in
Yeah.
2 years. And that big run, I was like, okay, that's an absolute shift in direction. It might sell off a little bit and settle back
Hmm.
down, but this isn't going to be. I just knew this wasn't going to be coming back down to earth. So they reported last night they beat top and bottom line, just firing on all cylinders, while at the same time their main competitor is struggling to innovate, struggling to do anything good. Intel's dominated the business for a while, and now AMD's just taken off and running with it.
Yep, we're definitely seeing the
They've
opposite
had
sides
multiple
over here.
upgrades this morning, as well. Although I
AMD.
will say on the upgrades, many of the price targets are either slightly below or right at where they are. There's, I think, one or two that were higher.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean the move
Not
already
that it
has
matters.
been,
I've seen,
yeah.
there's still analysts with a sell rating on Tesla and a $200 price target that they
Target,
just
yeah.
raised on Tesla that they just raised from 150. So, you know,
I'm telling you, that's like the weatherman job. You get to keep it even when you're wrong. Doesn't matter. Great business to be in. Here's AMD, guys. Obviously on our list. We'll keep it on there. INTC, I'm not going to keep it on here just yet. Again, I think it's going to be active. It did lose for a bit the low of the last two trading days yesterday, right? So it lost that level, but it didn't really give you anything all that exciting, right? So again, I think it's going to be active as well. Could be a good possible, but I'm going to look for that to hit our scanners. Let's look at SHOP, SHOP here. This one is taking off nicely, guys, up 11%, 426,000 shares traded. They got some good volume. This stock is not easy to trade, guys. The spread can be brutal sometimes, even when it was trading lower than $1,000 here, around the 300. It's a tough stock to trade. So again, beautiful pop this morning. Obviously, Norm, they are doing very well today.
I missed it. I'm sorry. I was
Oh, any earnings or news on this one on Shop?
yeah, yes, absolutely. They did have earnings this morning, and they beat top and bottom line substantially. So just on fire.
Yeah, no, again, really, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna put it as a possible because I know I'm not gonna watch this stock. But I'm sorry, as a main stock, I'm gonna put it as a possible in case anybody else is. We can do some levels for it. Again, it is a very tough stock to trade. It's a very high price stock. The spread could be a little bit wild
Usually has a
sometime.
huge spread. I mean, even
Yeah,
back when it was a few $100,
yeah, I agree.
it had
Yeah.
a hell of a spread. So
If you guys remember, this thing was trading. We've been trading this for a couple of years now. Even when it was down here at 300, 200, it was not trading great, and I don't expect that's going to get any better as the price goes higher. All right, we looked at AMD, SRNE. Let's take a look at this one. At the moment, pre-market action is all over the place. Again, this stock is a little funky when it comes to price action overall. Very, very light on volume. I'm not going to add this one on here, so I'm going to skip and move on to the next one here. Let's go over to GM. GM is a stock, General Motors, also that, again, unless they have earnings or some kind of news, I really don't keep them on here because they do not trade very well. They're similar to all these big companies like Ford, where their intraday trading is horrible. Unless they have a good significant news or
they
catalyst,
did.
they're
They had
they're not
earning. They
great.
did have. They did have
Yeah.
earnings this morning,
Hmm.
and they took a loss, but it not quite as bad as was expected. And same with revenue compared to analyst estimates.
Yeah. So we'll keep it on here. What I do like on the daily though here is possible breakout, guys. Got an area of resistance coming out that we have not been able to break in July here, over on 27.28. We're slightly above that now, but if we can get going here, we have some room to run. Or this can become a great rejection, head back down to the range they've been stuck in, right? So that could play both ways. We'll have to see how the open takes it. Here's missed this one that was active a couple of days ago. I do not like the way this daily chart looks now. It just looks very choppy. Look how it traded yesterday. You want no part of this type of business here. So let's move on from this one. Neo is on our list today. I love the daily here, guys. We're holding on to the support. We had a big bounce day yesterday based off the daily here. Look how great this thing traded. Possible continuation today. We might be changing directions. And if we can break out of this 25 will be nice. Or even if we don't, if we get a rejection here, we come back down, we can see some good opportunities. But overall, yesterday, very strong. Held this the entire day. I wasn't watching this one, unfortunately. But man, this played out pretty good. I want to keep this on deck this morning. Let's head down over to INO. INO, not as great pre-market action. Had some big action yesterday, popped up nicely and kind of sold back down here. So again, you did get some beautiful pop here right at the open, but for the most part, pre-market action is not looking all that great. Their daily is not all that exciting neither right now. Seems very choppy for the most part, so I'm gonna stay away from this one today. GFI pre-market is horrible. You got 180. You're up 2.3, but there's nothing good about this pre-market price action right now. So we'll move away from this one. This is a gold miner, looks like gold. Yeah, gold something. So usually those type of
South African
tickers,
gold miner
yeah, they,
sucks.
they don't they don't trade well. NCLH. So we haven't seen cruise lines active in a very long time. Light volume, 143. I'm used to seeing this at 500, 700, almost hitting a million shares traded when we have had it on our watch list. So again, we got some movement here. We're just barely over that 2%. This is why it's hitting our scanners. Their daily looks interesting. We had a nice little drop here, recover yesterday. Norm, perhaps any news on any of the cruise lines, or this is just a technical move here? They trade well yesterday. Yesterday had a very nice trading day, actually, intraday trading here. So possible continuation, but unless
I
there's any
refuse to
news.
answer that question anymore
For
until they're
sure.
really in play again.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm tired of people trying to trade them when they haven't been in play. So
they
like
have
literally, I
not.
haven't even watched them.
Yeah, they have
They were in
not,
play for
guys.
3 months. They dropped off significantly. They haven't been
Mhm.
doing squat. Maybe they did yesterday, but you know,
They've been
I'm
very
just giving
choppy.
people a hard time because Andrew's been in the room so much about how airlines and cruise lines suck, and I was like, how much do you want?
Yeah,
You trade them for 3 straight months. They're no longer in play.
that's it. We
You
we
might have a random day here and there, but it's not the trade
yeah.
that it was in the spring. That's for
Oh,
sure.
it's definitely not. And you could
Not that
tell
it
by the
won't be
volume.
again, but
Hmm. And you could
not
tell
that it
by the
won't be
volume. The
again.
volume, I mean, guys, the volume was insane pre-market. You could tell here a little bit. I mean, they're still getting great volume throughout the entire day, but it's all chop. But some of these days, pre-market, we're hitting a million easily on both CCL, NCLH, United, and these guys were killing it as well. So not much going on there when it comes to airlines. DSS, let's see what's gapping down today. DSS, not a great pre-market action. I don't like the daily here. Horrible volume. For the most part, you're getting what here on a regular basis? Looks like 1 million shares traded. You had
On a
one big day
secondary.
here, secondary, so nothing good happening there. APRN, Blue Apron. Right? We had a lot of fun with this one a couple of months ago. What's going on with them now? They're down 6.3. Volume is just starting to come in. I do like this pre-market right now. So, do they have any news that has broken out?
They had earnings this morning. Let me see if I can find it real quick because I think it came out. Looks like they beat their top and bottom line. But my guess is it wasn't what people were hoping for. I mean, this was one beat down company until COVID hit. And then once COVID hit, people thought that they were going to just, I don't know, be the Amazon of food because people were ordering stuff from there. But I think their business issues are still intact. So it looks like they're not being super impressive for earnings for the quarter.
I'm going to put this down here next to Kodak because it is a low flow stock, guys, sitting at 8 million shares. So again, we'll be cautious with this one. Let's look at CAPR, not doing anything much right now, just barely cracking over 100,000. It is down 5.5, but the pre-market is pretty crappy at the moment. Did have a couple of good days here. It looks like in the middle of the trading day, you have a nice little poppy with some good volume coming in. That was yesterday. The day before that, you also had some pretty nice runs. So it looks like their pre-market has been pretty horrible, but you are getting a little pops here and there. Also a lower flow stock, guys, so be careful on this one. We can add it on here because in the intraday, I'm seeing some pretty good stuff on there as far as movement. So I'm not sure if today we're going to get any type of continuation. And several times you see a horrible pre-market action, you're still getting some good pops here. The key here, guys, with this type of trading is that you need to wait for the volume. The volume is your indicator that things are going to be moving nicely. If you don't have volume, look what happens. Look at this chop here. So you have to sit patiently if you're waiting for a move on one of these stocks. Wait for the volume to come in. And obviously, these things can move, so manage your risk accordingly. STX is coming up here, gapping down 8.4. Volume is just starting to come in. Just made our gappers list. We'll leave this alone for now, give it a little more room to get going here. And we do have eBay. This one is down 2.4 at the moment. I do like the drop that we're getting here on the daily, so I'm going to add this one on here. Any news on eBay? They usually don't move all that well unless there's some kind of
the eBay had earnings last night.
Okay, excellent.
And so did STX. I think that'll be a good one. They missed their earnings. They're getting hammered this morning for it. So I think either of those could be good potential candidates.
Excellent. We'll add that. I did not know XTX had earnings, but if they did, we'll see how that's going to play out this morning. This drop is nice, guys. The drop is great. We just need more volume here, so hopefully we can get that towards the open. All right, Norm, what do you like besides what we have here so far?
BA. Yeah, BA for sure. GM popped up. I'd mentioned Roku. I'm still waiting on that day when it actually does something. I wouldn't say that it's going to be today. I have no idea. But those are a couple. BA had earnings this morning.
Yeah.
So
we're starting to see some good volume on it right now. 647. Again, pretty choppy at the moment, but when BA gets going, it can definitely have some good trading opportunities. So we'll see how that's going to turn out in a couple of minutes when we start doing levels. All right, let's take a look at the chat. What do you guys like this morning? So Michael, BA, we do have Jad, we do have LB on here. I believe I added that. Yes, we have it as a possible. Let's take a look. Starbucks. So David from Connecticut is giving us that one. SBUX. Nice pop on XBUX this morning. Just starting to get over that $112. So it should be hitting our gappers list here. Yep, there it is. So yeah, nice pop on it today. I like what I'm seeing there. Worth watching. So let's take a look at it here. Let's see if we can get more volume here, of course, and get going. Kodak is going insane. Yeah, it is. It's. I mean, the stock 3 days ago was sitting at $2.52.
How about the guy? How about the guy on Fridays? Like, I think cameras might make a comeback.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna put 10 grand in here at $2.
yeah, exactly.
And then now they're manufacturing chemicals for pharmaceuticals, and it's what, 17, $16? Yeah, in
Insane
three
how things
days.
can change. Or any bag holders, right? If anybody was bag holding here for
Yeah,
$5, thinking that this thing is gonna go, to the moon, now it's your
they're just
chance to
lucky, man. Yeah, you
now it's your
can't endorse
chance.
that kind of
Yeah, I do
stuff.
not endorse that kind of stuff, but now you can run to the bank and cash that in. All right, guys, let's take a look at what else we have. So Kodak is on here. Let's take a look at YouTube. CGC. You know what? CGC was hitting our scanners on the daily a couple of days ago. Had a big day yesterday. Today, they're not doing all that much as far as pre-market volume. But again, big day yesterday. Yeah, actually yesterday, yeah, it was hitting our scanners. You can see here the turbo breakup was just being blown up by CGC with some good volume coming in. So good trading day. Not sure what's causing this movement on them. Possible continuation today, guys. We can put it as a possible, but again, it's one of those stocks that unless there's something going on, these stocks have not been moving well. The
So
CGC,
one of their
yeah.
competitors did have earnings this morning, APHA, and
Okay.
they just came out. They actually came out a little bit late, and they've dropped. They're getting slammed. It looks like they really missed their numbers.
Mm-hmm. So I think that might be causing. I see they had
Everybody's
a
locked in. Maybe they're growing their own. I don't know.
yeah, could be. I'm surprised they're not doing better with given the situation, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I like CGC. I think it's the one that trades a little bit cleaner than most, and the CRON as well. But again, I'm not seeing anything overly exciting on this stuff right now. All right, guys, let's take a look at someone mentioned Spot here. Let's take a look at Spot this morning. Right now, volume is a little bit light, only 97. It's starting to get going. Looks like we are down 5.2. I do like the daily possible weak situation here, holding on to this level of support. If we can lose that, we got some good levels on here. The issue with Spot comes down to the spread, guys. The spread on Spot is very, very wide. It is a higher price stock, but aside from it being not a higher price stock, it's 250. It's not that bad. But the spread, even for that price, is still too aggressive. So be careful with this one. And it gets light volume. Again, volume is such an important thing when it comes to our style of trading. For this price stock to only get, 5 million shares and some days 2 or 3 million shares a day and have a horrible spread, it just doesn't cut it. You got to be careful with that. So it makes it more difficult to manage your risk and to also, more importantly, it makes it difficult to read the price action when you have such a bad spread, because this is when you start getting that choppiness, when things start jumping around a little bit, and it's very difficult to read that level 2 in price action. So just be mindful of that. All right, guys, let's get over to we got a very diverse list today, because a lot on here that doesn't look all that great. A lot of it might be sitting on earnings that might be great at the open. So let's see how we could dissect this a little bit better and get a nice list. But let's go over to our community announcements, and we'll come back to these levels.
All right, guys. So tonight, 8 p.m. in the webinar room is Jared's much anticipated success webinar on options. So be sure to check that out if you happen to be in a different time zone and can't make it. If you're somewhere else in the world at 8 p.m. Eastern doesn't fit your schedule, it'll be sure to be posted most likely tomorrow. It will be recorded and be ready for you. Next week is John Hiltz trading a single strategy. He is very well known for trading only his break of high of day strategy. Maybe not only, but vast majority of trades. So that'll be interesting to watch next week at 8 p.m. Mike's Module 2 should be posted now. That's from Tuesday, his Psychology of Trading. Next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m., the webinar room. We've got our own in-house psychologist, Dr. Jonathan Katz, talking about improving discipline. If you can improve discipline in trading, it's probably, I would have to guess, the number one determinant of becoming successful or not. So great webinar coming up 8 p.m. next Tuesday. Guys, our member trade of the day. This is something we just started a couple of weeks ago. So if you are a member of BBT, you can take screenshot of your best trade of the day, post it to Twitter, mark it up and post it to Twitter saying, entries, exits, rationale for taking it, describe the strategy a little bit. Tag at Bearable Traders, at Mike B_BBT, and at Norm BBT. Use hashtag BBT family. Put all those in there so we're sure to find it and don't miss it. We will determine the winner for the day. It needs to be by 1:30, as I mentioned. We will determine the winner for the day. Mike will announce it in the closing bell show that we simulcast on YouTube. And That's Monday through Thursday. Then on Friday, we take the winners from the first 4 days of the week, and Mike will announce the winner for the trade of the week on Friday on YouTube and on Twitter, and it will that person will receive or win a $100 Amazon gift card. Speaking of YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, haven't tried out the chat and you'd like to, you can use the promo code premarket24. That'll give you 7 calendar days in the room, which is 5 trading days unless there's a holiday. Includes access to the onboarding class Carlos does live every Monday night at 8 p.m. And it does not auto-renew or turn into any other kind of discount. Also, if you're watching us, if you're, looking to upgrade your membership or become a lifetime member, use a promo code Rockies40, and that'll give you 40% off the one-time lifetime membership. That means, I guess the one-time lifetime membership means if Buddhists are correct and you're reincarnated, you don't get to trade with us in your next life.
Yeah, we got to cover for that.
So single payment, let's call it that.
It's in the fine print.
There you go. I'm going to make an exception, and Andrew and I can argue about this, I guess, if it comes up, since I'm going to say it. If you're reincarnated and you can prove it, absolutely solidly prove it, you deserve to have your second lifetime membership added on.
At least 50% off.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Markets close on Wall Street. That's our simulcast show, 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. Simulcast on YouTube every Monday through Thursday with Mike, Peter, and Brian. Thanks, guys. Sorry for going off on a tangent there.
Excellent. Guys, let's get to we forgot to mention our trade of the day yesterday. So that is going out to Hail Chaser 2. So he had an amazing trade here on RCL. So let's take a quick look at this. So he got in here for a beautiful short double top, which again, not always is perfect. And usually I will not do a double top on a 1 minute. But again, here's his strategy, right? The key thing here, guys, is find your strategy, find your niche. And if it works, keep doing it over and over and over again, right? That's trading. That's trading. Repetition, repetition, repetition. So here he looks at this double top, sign of weakness. He gets in for a short after seeing some confirmation candles that we are changing direction. Takes a partial here a little bit early, he says. But again, sometimes that partial puts you at ease. So hopefully he didn't take too much off there. It puts you in the driver's seat, right? Now you move your stop to break even. You're more calm. Your nerves are a little more under control. And then you could really start watching the trade nicely now. He takes partial now at technical levels. And then he's watching as it goes back down to the VWAP, the VWAP as on 100 moving average here. And then once you see things are changing, right, starting to level out here, it could be going the next it could be going to the other direction. He takes everything out. So again, amazing trade here in RCL. We did not have this on our watch list, but he was able to spot a good opportunity here. So congrats to him on that. All right, guys, let's get over to our watch list. Let's see what we have here. So we were watching Starbucks in the chat when we were talking about what just happened here. And this candle, when Norm was doing his thing there, it just dropped and stayed here for a while. It didn't even move. So usually when you get these transactions around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, it moves pretty fast up and down, and you know that it's just transactions being recorded. But this one dropped and it stayed here. They had a huge red candle for about a minute or two. So we're trying to figure out, okay, what the hell just happened here? But then it looks
block
like
trade, dude.
Yeah, it had to be a block trade, but it's weird the way it happened because it just dropped and stayed there. But again,
because it didn't have steady. There's no orders going through it. That's why it happened.
Yeah. So it's back up here.
I mean, there was a block trade that went through, but if you look on the 1 minute chart, it's easy. You can easily pick it out. At 8:58, it had 100 shares traded. 100.
Yeah.
At 8:59, it had a block of 472. It's just got no volume going through it, so no trades went through, and it's stuck there for a little bit.
Yeah. So it's stuck there for like about probably a minute or so, whatever, and then it comes back up. So usually when you see that, guys, it's not really price action. And I've been in situations, for those that are new, where I've been, let's say, long here. This thing drops, my unrealized P&L doesn't even go down. It stays the same up here because the system knows that this is not actual price action. So just be aware of that. All right, guys, let's look at this watch list. AMD on list for sure, on the deck. I mean, 2.5 right now, up 10%. Definitely going to keep this on watch. GM, I'm on the fence. I like the daily. Might be a good possible. Neo here is very active. I do like the daily as well. Coming back down a little bit. Had a pretty nice high over at 1280. Looks like 1285 or so. eBay is also good on the daily. STX, not great pre-market action, guys, but might get better. as we get into the market open here. BA is good, got some good action here. I'm definitely going to keep this one. And the Starbucks is good as well. I think we're getting some good activity here. So I'm going to move down GM. We'll move down GM. Let's take that one off. Let's see what else we have. So we have Neo, eBay, STX is a good possible. BA is good. Yeah, let's do these right now. All right, so we have a AMD, obviously all-time high, guys, sitting all the way at 75.80 here in the pre-market. Again, this stock has been just incredible. Low of the pre-market at the moment sitting at 74.20. So let's bring that there. And then towards the bottom, you have your highs and lows from the last two trading days. Again, we're sitting at all-time highs here after earnings, getting a beautiful pop here pre-market, post hours, post market. So at the moment, you really have no levels in between here. So that's really all you have. So you got to be careful and mindful of that, not to start creating levels that, just randomly, right? So be aware of that. Here's Neo. Neo, good pre-market action, guys. I like the day that it had yesterday. Hopefully a good continuation. Had a nice intraday trade on yesterday. As far as levels, your high of the pre-market very close to the high of yesterday, which I think is a more important level. If you look at this one, you can see how many days are bouncing off of this there around that 1260 where the price action is now. High of the pre-market 1285, but again, this level here I think is a very important one. Above that, we do have 1357. Let's mark that down, and then towards the bottom, guys, you have plenty. Previous day close right on the low of the pre-market, and then highs and lows from the last two trading days. eBay, guys, this one is has a nice little drop here going down to 54, prior area of support that we had here. So let's see what eBay is going to do today with that 54.04. Towards the top, plenty of levels, guys. Highs and lows from the last two trading days. Obviously, they had earnings last night. You can see that here. Nice drop all the way down to 52.49, right? That was the drop here on the earnings play. It's coming back nicely. Is it going to head the other direction? So let's see. Right now, only 116,000 shares traded. Looking for this to get a little bit more volume. Pre-market is not great right now, but this could be a good opportunity for a earnings play. STX, big drop here. Again, pre-market is not looking great at the moment. 45.70, high of the pre-market, low of the pre-market sitting at 43.89. Towards the top, let's take a look here what we have. This 45.70 is a good area. You can see several days on there, not a little bit higher, but quite around this area. You can see there's a lot of support happening here and now being used as resistance. So towards the top, I'm going to mark down this area right over here, 46.88, several days bouncing off of that as well, opening and closing and really changing direction. Look at that, the direction change around 46.88. So you want to have that on there. Towards the bottom, if we were to lose this 43.89, very choppy in here. This reminds me, what was that stock that we had? Was it yesterday before? Also around this time frame, we had the market crash, obviously coming down here and getting very, very choppy. So it's going to be a little more challenging to find good levels. 39.19 obviously is one. You have one here at 40.94, and then in between here, guys, this is just messy. So I'm not going to add anything in there. It's just too wild to actually find good levels on there. So 40.94, 39.19 are some good ones. I don't think we'll get there today, but we'll see what STX wants to do here. Here's BA, some good volume. They just reported earnings. Obviously, you can see the volume here, 812, trading very nicely, getting very active. We're stuck right now between the highs and lows of the last two trading days, and we're pushing up against the highs for the last 2 days. So I like what I'm seeing there. Hopefully that can be an area that we can break through. As far as daily levels, we have a clear one right on here at 189.79. The reason I love this level is you can see how I play both sides of the fence here, as support and as resistance, and at more resistance than anything. Look how many times this thing has been tested over and over again. They broke out of it a few times here, but right back into this range again between 175 and 180.79. So we're trying to push up against that 175.50, which is the high of the pre-market now. Looking forward to see if we can break out of that. See how this news is going to play out. This earnings news is going to play out today. 189.68, another level if we're really going to be strong today. We've seen BA really take off here, guys. So be prepared for a possible run if that's what it's going to do today. Starbucks, again, not great pre-market action right now. Pre-market high sitting at 78.96. Below that, we do have a level here towards the bottom, 77.27. And then below that, plenty of levels here, very congested. Highs and lows from the last two trading days. You have some moving averages as well in there also. Towards the top of the 78.96 high of our pre-market, we have a very perfect level here at 80.17. Look how great that daily is right there. A lot of resistance before it's able to break out of that. And then it does come back down towards that area again. So Let's look at our possibles. We have GM. Again, I love the daily on GM, but it needs volume, guys. Again, this stock it needs some kind of momentum. Doesn't trade very well, but it does have a catalyst behind it. So typically on these type of days, you can get some good action out of it. I love 27.31. Here's a good level. You can see the resistance happening here. Slightly above that, you have 27.84, and then towards the bottom, you're covered with all the highs and lows in previous day close. Here's Roku. Roku has been the sleeper, and this is what we're talking about. Look at Roku's pre-market action yesterday. Absolutely nothing going on, and then you come in at the open, volume comes in, and you get this beautiful trading here, right? Towards the end of the day, again, the market sold off a bit, so probably dragged these stocks down quite a bit. But I'm looking for Roku to hopefully break out of this range. The levels that we have from yesterday still play out nicely here. We're stuck between the highs and lows of the last two trading days. Look at this previous day close, how great that support has been. We have 159.21 towards the top, 166.30 towards the above that, and then towards the bottom 141 and 135. So again, just Roku's not doing anything right now, but we're looking to see any type of breakout. But even yesterday, within this range, you're getting some good trading if you're patiently waiting, right? So again, there's so many ways to trade the market, guys. There's no right way to trade the market, but I guarantee you there is a wrong way, and that's not following your rules. So be mindful of that. Shop, guys, I'm not going to keep on deck because the problem with Shop is that it is very difficult to trade. The spread is too wild for me, so I'm going to remove it even as a possible. They're very active today. Definitely in play. If that's your type of stock, keep it on deck, but I'm going to take that one off. TUP getting very active here, up 34% now. So it started off pretty quiet. Now we're starting to get some movement here. High of the pre-market sitting right at 12.97. Trying to hit up against that $13 mark there. Towards the bottom, we do have some pre-market levels here that could be important. 12.24. You saw some resistance there before we dropped down and came back, retested that. And once you broke out, if you're short here, you're bailing on it. So you got a nice little squeeze happening there. So this could be a good possible. Again, not the best trading stock, but today they have news. They're very active, and volume is starting to come in. They're up 33%. LB is another one that we'll keep an eye on. High of our pre-market right now, sitting at 23.96. The low of the pre-market 21.65, and then below that you have the highs and lows from the last two trading days. Nice big pop for them, 24. This is a nicey stock, typically not the best pre-market action. Another one that you have to be patient and really wait for an opportunity. But again, this pop today is going to be interesting to see how that is going to play out. FE, I'm going to remove, guys. I don't really like the way this stock trades. CGC, again, big day yesterday. Right now, they got more volume than they usually do pre-market. So that makes it a little bit more interesting. Possible continuation play here after such a really nice day yesterday. Look at the pop here, and look how well it traded. Again, we didn't get no heads up on this one pre-market. It did hit our turbo breakup scanner. So just a reminder, guys, keep an eye on these scanners that we have available for you. You will be able to find stuff that's moving with volume. And then your job after that is not to just take a trade randomly, is to wait for an opportunity. And you get one here around 11 a.m. You see a beautiful ABCD pattern forming there. Nice bull flag here around 10 a.m. So again, a lot of opportunities here to take this trade. All right, that is what we have. Oh, let's not forget about Kodak. I think Kodak is the one that's just, it should be on everybody's list, even for entertainment purposes. I mean, this thing is just wild. I'm going to remove APRN. CAPR, horrible. Again, a couple of good days, but nothing going on now. Kodak is the one to watch for the low flow stock today. So that one's going to be trading very well. All right, guys, let's see what we have for the moderators this morning. Let's start over here with Andrew. He's watching FEYE. AMD, LB, NEO, ALC, and Kodak as well. Both of those are low flow stocks, so be careful with those. Peter is watching AMD, Kodak, LB as his main watch list. As his secondary, he's got V, which is Visa, eBay, STX, and Spotify. As you know, you got my list already. Let's look at Norm's list: FYE, LB, AMD, NEO, GM, and BA. Thor is watching Kodak, AMD, and BA. Mike is on AMD, BA, and LB. Eamon has Kodak, AMD, Shop, and Neo, and then we're waiting for the rest to populate here. And Tiffany's got Kodak, AMD, and Shop. So again, a couple of tickers here that we all have. AMD, obviously, almost on everybody's list. We have Kodak, which is very active right now. And I see a lot of people also holding on to LB. LB is a good one also this morning. Again, doesn't look great right now, but it has traded very good in the past. So this is why we're keeping a close eye on that one this morning. All right, folks, that is what we have. Norm, anything before we tune off here?
No, nothing I can think of.
All right.
Just remember, guys, a couple of things. Markets could be a little nutty. You've got CEOs of four of the biggest companies in the world testifying before Congress today. So they say something funky. It could, it's like 40+% of the market cap of the NASDAQ in 100, the QQQ. So if something's said, it could, cause things to get a little haywire. And then at 2 o'clock, you've got the FOMC rate decision and their transcript, which is more important. And then Jerome Powell's press conference at 2:30. So just keep an eye out for those things going on today.
Yeah.
Who are those for? It are the CEOs of Google, Apple, Amazon, and Facebook.
Yep. Your FANG stocks there. Here's John. John has BA, INTC, and BABA on the list, so he's going to be watching those as well. INTC, I think, is a good one too because INTC is one that it's going to be active for a couple of days, I think, depending how they play out here. That was a big drop they had, so good one to see how they're going to be playing along the next couple of days. All right, guys, that is what we have. Thank you so much for joining us this pre-market show on YouTube. We will continue in the chat room here as Brian and Andrew come on and go over their list and kind of prepare for the market open. Trade safe, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time. Remember, tonight we have our webinar. It's Wednesday, right? Wednesday, I believe.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, we have our webinar tonight, guys. So lifetime webinar at 8 p.m. Don't miss it. Yes, we will have the recording, but it's great to be there live and support the presenter. As well, the environment's a whole lot different. So if you can make it, absolutely do so. Take care, guys. Trade safe, and we'll see you tomorrow at 8:30.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.